Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Top 9 Podcast. My name's Tom Cassidy. With me, as always, is the birthday girl, Adele Carollo, coming fresh off of a jet plane.
I mean, I don't want to brag, but yes, that happened last night. It was my first time. Destination was Ohio. That's a plot twist. I didn't think that's where I'd be going on a private jet, but
Hey.
I'll take it. I'll go just about anywhere on a private jet.
Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. Thank you for the birthday wishes.
Of course.
Hey guys, welcome.
Happy birthday. Our
Thank
guest
you.
today is the hilarious Josh Johnson,
Yeah.
comedian, actor.
Oh, not a good one.
I don't know. You
I
don't
mean,
think so? Believe in yourself, Josh.
Well, here's the thing. I'm all right. Like I've gotten close before, but so far no network shows yet.
Fair enough. Well, it's
Yeah.
only a matter of time, goddammit.
It's true.
I love
Yeah.
it. Josh, so are you from Chicago?
No, I actually grew up in Louisiana. I just started comedy in Chicago. I feel like
Gotcha.
I became a person
In Chicago? Cool.
Yeah.
So you were in Louisiana for like the beginning of your life, first 18
Yeah.
years?
Yeah, I mean a little bit more than that because I also went to college in Louisiana.
Oh, okay. Where at?
Centenary College in Shreveport.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
I'm asking these questions because of what your list is.
Yes,
Because
we
I
wanna
think
know
it'll
where-
inform us
where they come
on
from.
the things that you've seen. Can you tell us what your top 9 list is today?
Oh, my top 9 list is some of the wildest things I've seen. So top 9 so far. Obviously, I hope my life is not over.
This
Mhm.
list will change through the years.
Yeah, list so far of things that were like in recent memory too. Like
Sure.
I feel like there's inevitably going to be one friend that was like, you didn't tell him about the time that we did the thing, and it's like, yeah, but these are the things that were like on the forefront of my mind. So a
Yeah.
lot of them will be more recent.
Mhm.
Okay.
A lot of them will be very New York, Chicago based.
Do you have a good memory?
I like to think so. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. I can't because when you said like it might not be from like back in the day, like sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I forget like the early part of my life. Maybe
That-
from like smoking weed or like
That is fair. That I also feel like though there are certain things that don't really leave an impression on you unless you can process them.
Sure.
And that's what I feel like a lot of wild things are. Because there'll be whole things where like just as a quick example,
Mhm.
this is not in the list, but it's an example of something that like I forgot about until last week.
Okay.
When I was very young, we went to a funeral. It was a funeral for a person who had been very sick for a long time. They were so sick for a long enough time that they were, buried immediately after they passed, right?
Okay.
The thing is, when you bury someone very quickly after they pass,
Mhm.
there's still an opportunity for the body to have a few muscle spasms.
Mhm.
Oh
And so
my
at the funeral,
goodness.
during the viewing of the body, there was just like a twitch.
Oh, shit.
And people freaked out.
Uh-huh.
Like people, like, it was like we almost left.
Josh
And-
saw a zombie, and it's not even on his top 9 list. This is just an honorable
Wow.
mention. What are we getting into
And
here?
like even when they calmed everybody down, and
Uh-huh.
like even the funeral director was like, "Hey, just so you know, muscle spasms are possible. Like don't like this is.
He
I
could
don't even think
explain
it'll
the shit out
happen
of it,
again.
but-
Yeah.
Right? Even as it was
Still.
my turn to walk up, I was kind of like,
yeah, fuck that.
yeah. So you
Pay
know,
your respects at a distance at that point.
Yeah.
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 But
Wow.
I mean, that's an example of a thing that like I forgot happened
Mhm.
until like 2 weeks. We were talking about funerals.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, this thing did happen one time. But I was
Mhm.
also like, I wasn't a baby, but I was like
Mhm.
young enough that was wild for that day.
Of course.
But then like, more than a decade has passed since then.
Yeah.
Other things have been going on.
You're in like your early 30s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you at this point, we're all in our 30s. It's a long life,
Mhm.
You've seen a lot.
It's hard to
Yeah.
remember things accurately. We'll say that much. Like,
Yeah.
the stories from our childhood were like there's parts that are missing, the parts that are made up, and
And then you like lie to yourself after time
Yeah.
too, and just add a little bit of
Yeah.
stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
absolutely.
You
You're
know,
like,
a little
I fought
panache.
him. I
Yeah.
fought him. And I won.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's-
just lie this whole top 9 list.
Yeah,
Just
right.
Make this like a Mark Twain story.
Yeah.
So this is Josh Johnson's top 9 craziest things he's seen in his life so far.
Okay.
Coming in at number 9.
So coming in at number 9, all right. A lot of the things on this list are about how I felt, at the time. Not necessarily just like I understand that some people might watch this or listen to this and be like, oh, that's not that crazy. But it's like if you're in it in the moment, if you're there, oh, geez.
Yeah.
So I was in an Uber, and it was I think Detroit that I was in.
Okay, number 8.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 8. That's it. Uber in
Right.
Detroit. No.
But like I was in this Uber in Detroit, and we were just driving along. My head was in my phone and everything, and this other car came and sort of cut us off, and they must have been running the light or something, because then when I look up, one light is yellow and the other one's red, which didn't make a ton of sense to me. Like, one should be green and one should be red. So I was like, maybe the light is messed up. But either way, they start arguing. And so the other guy in the car and my Uber driver are just cursing back and forth, just like nonstop. Like, we could have already driven away. Like, I could be there by now by the time that you're.
Sure.
Because I was also close to my destination.
Oh,
and then
were you late?
I was not late.
Okay.
I was in that comfortable space where you don't care how long it takes because you left early enough.
You thought you were good to go.
I was like in my phone. I'm doing great.
Are they cursing at each other?
They're screaming each other, cursing, and then
Okay.
finally, an Uber driver is like, we will both get out of here and stop your ass. And then I'm like, I'm not part of that. And then the other dude he yelled at is big.
He's got
And
an
it's
Uber
like,
driver too. It's gonna be like a Pokemon fight.
It was not at all. There was this dude by himself, and then was like yelling at the two of us now, and now he's yelling at me in the back seat and the dude in the
oh
front
yeah,
seat.
Holy
motherfucker
shit.
in the
Yeah.
back.
So have you said anything yet?
No, I haven't said anything. And then I rolled down my window like I'm not really a part of. And then my Uber driver is mad at me.
Oh shit.
Like
yeah.
we're family. Like
You
I'm supposed to back him
abandoned
up.
him.
Kinfolk.
Yeah. And then thank goodness the dude doesn't get out, because at one point it looked like my Uber driver was also going to get out. And I was like, guys, I feel bad because now I'm not going to back you up. That's not going to happen. This is like your thing.
Sure.
I have a place to be that's actually like I can see it. I can see where
Oh,
I need
wow.
to be. Yeah.
So you could have just got out and walked from that point, right?
It was several blocks, but yeah, I could have
Okay.
walked. I
Yeah.
could have. All I wanted was some Chick-fil-A, and I
Fair
could
enough.
see the Chick-fil-A sign.
That's where you were going? Damn
Yeah,
it.
from my hotel to the Chick-fil-A
So
and
it wasn't
back.
a Sunday.
No, it wasn't
Okay.
a Sunday.
Yeah.
But
Oh, man.
it was brutal.
Would you
Man.
have thrown hands, as they say, if it came to that?
Nah,
Good.
he would have had to come get me out of the car.
Yeah.
Like I was like, because then the big dude finally drove off, and then
Oh, he was big too?
yeah, he was huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's so not right. Roger
And so,
Uber
and I
driver.
honestly
One
think
star.
that the driver did that because he knew that dude was huge. Like even in his anger, he was like, I will need help because
Yeah.
he is big. You know what? Me and this dude I don't know are gonna
Yeah.
get out there and bust your ass, right?
He needed to make it more intimidating.
Yeah. And
He
then
involved you. That's
oof.
too funny.
So they finally part ways, like a couple more FUs, and then the guy drives off. And then as we drive, like as we're, it's like I
into him?
said, it's like 8 blocks, but it's the longest 8 blocks. Because now I'm just left in the car with a dude who I publicly was like, oh, I'm not part of that, like, but I'm
Yeah.
still in the car with him.
Sure.
So it was terrible.
That's
It was
like the craziest part of it almost.
Yeah, it felt crazier because he was driving. I felt like he was driving slower on purpose.
Do you remember if the radio was on?
No, I don't.
Okay, just because
Yeah.
because if it was just a quiet car and he's
Painting
just
a
No,
picture.
no, it was.
Simmering. Yeah.
It was quiet when we were driving. I don't remember if the radio was on before that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
maybe he turned it down to yell
Sure.
at the guy, but
Mhm.
oh yeah, I was just in it, and it was there. I mean, the Chick-fil-A was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It kind of made the whole thing.
Kind of
worth
like theater and then dinner.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Caught a show, got some Chick-fil-A afterwards.
immersive theater where you think you're gonna be assaulted.
Did you
An escape card.
penalize
Yeah.
him with the point system? Did you give him less stars or? let
Here's
it
the
go?
thing. I did not, because in
Yeah.
my
I understand.
mind, I was like, he was ready to fight for me.
Oh,
I just wasn't
that's
ready
fair,
to fight for
that's
him.
fair.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like I'm like we weren't in it together like brothers or anything.
To be honest with you, the crazier the Uber driver is, the better review I want to give him.
Yeah,
Because I'm scared of him.
I had a guy one time, unrelated to the list, but to your point,
Yeah.
he jumped. What's
Turnstile or something?
the
or not
median?
The median.
Like, yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah, that thing that flops back and forth. When you
my
hit it.
man, he saw the overall map,
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm in a little bit of a hurry. And he's like, I'll get you there. And then
Crazy
he jumps the median because he sees that the way that we're driving now, he's going to have to exit, turn around, get back on.
Yeah.
And so he just jumps the median like hella close too. And then looks back and he's like, don't tell anybody. And that's what I'm doing right now. But he was great. I gave him 5 stars for
Yeah,
sure.
no, like sometimes if they don't kill me, I'm like, thank you for not killing me.
Yeah.
Here's 5 stars.
Number 8.
Number 8.
Number 8 was earlier in 2020 when I only got sick twice last year. And both times were like, oh, this might be COVID. I never got COVID, but one of them was especially like, I was like really congested. I was having trouble breathing. It was like I was just checking things off the list, right?
Yeah.
And so I went ahead and went to, like a city MD and got my first coronavirus test. And I fainted. And I've talked about this in my stand-up as well, but like, I don't know if
when it was entering your nose.
Yeah, I don't know if she did something or I did something, but basically, I had my head back. They tell you to put your head back, and it was the full like Brillo brush toilet scrubber for your nose, and she shoved it up there, and I was just out. I was like, and then I fell back. And then I opened my I'm not out for long at all. Sure. I'm like, it's immediate. But then when I open my eyes, she's not in the room. And the test is still hanging out of my nose.
It is not.
And so I'm like looking around. And then she walks back in. And in my head,
are you still on the ground at this point?
I'm not on the ground at all. I'm
sitting
on the little thing. You know the thing they roll out.
Is there any sort of
you?
mirror that you see where the thing's hanging from your nose? Or
No,
you
I can just feel it on my lip.
Like, I can't believe she didn't take it out of your nose. That's insanity, Josh.
I fell back.
That's just crazy.
And then she was walking back in. And so as she's walking back in, I just say, I'm like, you left me? And she was like, I had to go get, this has never happened before, ever. Like, I don't know what was wrong with you. So I just went to get someone. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she pulled it out and, didn't have corona. Was just regular sick.
Oh my God, that was a story she told at home that night.
Yeah, that's so insane that like I didn't even know what it was because I think it was just me panicking. It had to just be.
Do you think it was the pain? No.
I don't even think it was the pain. I think it was just like this sensation that I've never felt.
Yeah, it's so unnatural. It's so unnerving.
I
and
think it's painful.
It's very painful.
Yes.
That's why I asked.
And I'm already sick. So like on top of being sick, I think I just
baby.
panicked myself. And then I was like, and then back. I don't even, here's the thing. I could have been out for like more than 2 seconds, so I don't even see how she left the room that fast. Yeah, that means that must have been her first day as a like a technician or something. Because for you to run that fast,
I don't know if she thinks she's gonna be like liable or something, or if like she thinks but like she definitely
she went
panicked.
to get help.
Yeah,
she didn't know.
Yeah.
What
You could
to
relate.
do.
You know?
I could relate.
Yeah,
I would have done the same thing to me.
thank God she didn't faint.
Yeah,
Can
right.
you imagine somebody just walking by?
Yeah,
You're just got it in your nose. Just passed out.
Oh God.
I would pull it out because I wouldn't want to get in trouble. I'd feel like when you were passed out, I'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And I go and pull it out of there.
Yeah.
It would be amazing if she tried to lie to me or something. Like if she pulls it out and I wake up, I'm just like, oh, you hit your head.
She comes back with a doctor. Doctor, he assaulted me.
Yeah, just wake up. See, he's trying to do it again. Look at him.
Yeah. I broke my nose once, and like there was like something where like they had to take like I don't know what it was out of my nose, like the stint or something, and it was the worst pain I've ever had in my life. So I just think nose pain is such a specific pain.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, people have passed out from pain. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Also,
pass out's such a harder word than faint.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. No, it felt like a faint because I wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't even. Here's the thing. I
It's
feel like
funnier.
when a person passes out, they're out for longer than a faint.
Yeah.
Like
You're right.
I was like, like that, like
that is what makes it so crazy that she was out of the room.
Yeah,
it was like she was playing double dutch.
It's like she knew I would do it. Like it was so crazy that you could leave that fast.
Yeah.
And so then I also feel like I don't know if your experiences because I don't know how long you or how many times you've had to get tested, but I swear that the closer we've gotten to like 2021, the less they put the test in your nose.
Yeah, those first few months, they jammed it up there because they weren't sure if they were doing it right. They had to like be super efficient and thorough and like go for it and really get the sample.
Yeah.
I think it was Cheryl Crow who said the first COVID test is the deepest.
There we go.
I think that was her.
Yeah.
But
Dork.
Because now, I had to get the last one that I had to get before like vaccinations and everything were like super.
I'm sure it worked. They were testing you every day at the Daily Show.
Well, we haven't been in the studio, so
right,
yeah, I didn't need to get it for that. But I was doing a shoot, and I can't remember where I was, but I was in the city, and they gave me the test, and dude just went, well. He did. It was barely in my nose. I was like, all right, I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah.
But I feel like the closer we got to present, the less they've been sticking. Like that first one was jammed up there so much, I thought it was gonna be stuck.
Yeah.
You know.
Almost was.
Yeah. Forever. Because I wasn't gonna take
What
it
if you
out.
fell on your face? Oh, I can't even imagine.
I mean, she must have seen me falling back, so I don't know if she saw that danger there.
Yeah.
You could have rolled over.
Yeah, I could have fallen on my side, and yeah.
I've never had a good experience at one of those places. They've never like really like done a good job, you know.
Not true. I've been like
at
sick,
city
and it's hard to get a
MDs.
doctor's appointment. You know.
I don't know. I mean, sure. No, I think for certain things it's good, but if you got a real issue, I don't know. It's
Well,
tough.
That's where it was at for COVID testing, man. They had I remember standing online for 3 hours on Delancey, waiting for this test.
Because they were taking it more seriously back then as opposed to that. But
Yeah.
okay, that was a good number 8,
Oh,
and
it
it
was good.
involved COVID.
Yeah.
Coming in at
All right,
number,
so number
7.
All right, so this is from when I was little. When I was little, I took karate, and I was not good. I was like yellow belt.
Me too.
Like yellow, and I think I can't remember if yellow or orange is the highest I got, but I got to the level where they still tell you to yell fire if somebody come at you. It's like
I've never heard that one before.
Okay,
That's
so
nice.
this this is the most ratchet. So
You're don't even try.
Yeah, it's like we're out here kicking, punching for like an hour and a half every like 2 days. Like I went there a lot. And then the fact that I got a new belt, and then even with the new belt, they were like, now listen, if somebody come at you, you yell fire, okay? Because you're not ready to be putting all this to practice. And in my little head, I was like, oh, because it's too deadly. And they were like, you really can't even break the boards that we pre-broke.
Yeah.
Like you're not at that level. So you need to yell for help no matter what, right?
That is hilarious.
And then there was a karate teacher who got into it one day. This is like it was pretty egregious. But basically, you know, how most karate schools have like a huge glass wall so people passing by can see the people and like kind of wish they could do it and come in, and it's a whole tactic.
So you can challenge the kid to a tournament when
Yeah.
he comes in later in the summer. Yeah.
Come inside, start kicking kids in the chest, you know.
For sure.
So there was one of those there.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy that walked past that was like, seemed pretty clearly homeless, right? And so he was watching all the sparring and stuff, and he was like, yeah. Like he was clearly just having a good time watching what was going on. Not bothering anybody, not like making faces or trying to get our
he was
attention.
getting
just
into
like,
it, though.
Yeah. So one of the karate teachers,
Sensei.
it's very hard to use some of the traditional language when talking about a few of these people. But
Sure.
but basically, this guy saw him and was like, "Don't worry, guys, I'll get rid of him." And even the other karate teacher's like, "Oh, he's not really doing anything," and he's like, "I got this." Okay, so then he goes outside, and from here you can't hear anything. You can just see them sort of miming what's happening. So he goes outside, and he's clearly like, go, get. And then the homeless guy is just like, what am I doing? Like hands up, like just what is it? And the guy's like, go. And so then the guy's not leaving. He's still kind of like, what am I doing wrong? What did I do? And so then karate teacher looks in at us like, it's about to go down.
Oh, no.
And then he straight up took a stance on this dude.
Oh shit.
And then the homeless dude is even more like, what did I like? And so then he throws a kick. Not only does a homeless guy catch the kick,
Oh shit.
but he looked super offended. He was like, you tried to kick me.
Yeah.
And so then he still holding onto his leg, grabs his gi
Oh shit.
and just shakes him. And just like, and it's one of the funniest, seeing a grown man get
I
shaken.
love how this story is
It's like-
going.
And like there's no like
This is amazing.
no karate, no martial art that I've ever come in contact with. Maybe jujitsu. Maybe jujitsu prepares you for being shook. But almost none of them tell you what to do if another grown man is shaking you.
You're
Yeah.
vibrating.
Yeah.
What do you
and
do?
so he's like getting shook. And then the guy just throws him to the ground
Oh shit.
and walks away.
Oh shit.
Aw,
He
he
didn't
coulda
yell
really-
fire.
he
The
coulda
teacher didn't
hurt
yell
him.
fire at all.
No, did not yell fire.
Yeah.
Just yelled.
Holy
And
hell.
so then he gets up.
in front of
And
all
he-
of you.
What are you all doing? Laughing or
No, just
like,
watching.
yeah,
Just like
shocked?
I thought I was about to see it in practice. And honestly, I think we need to hire that dude.
Yeah,
Like bring
uh-huh.
that dude in there.
Uh-huh.
And so then comes back in, hilariously has one drop of blood.
Oh my goodness.
Like just enough blood to be funny.
Uh-huh.
One drop of blood like from his nose to the part of his gi, like right here.
Yeah.
And then he walked back in and goes, all right, so like just tries to keep teaching.
Uh-huh.
Like he was like, no, you don't get to keep teaching.
Yeah, you
now."
got to go home early.
Yeah, the only way I would respect you, is if you went, all right, so what my mistake was.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
if he
yeah.
had been like, all right, so I threw the kick a little low and I telegraphed. Like he didn't do anything. He was just like, all right, let's practice our one steps.
Uh-huh.
That
Man.
is
Yeah.
amazing.
God bless that dude.
great
Man.
Yeah.
Do you remember his first name? If you don't want to say it, it's fine.
I don't want to. Here's the thing.
all
I feel bad enough because I already think I said it on my podcast.
Okay, no problem.
So I don't want to say it.
Yeah, no, I get it.
That's hilarious. He just went
man.
back to normal, like nothing just happened. I
Holy
love
shit.
that.
It just shows how like corny that guy is too. Like first of all, he tries to beat up a homeless person. Then
Yeah.
he gets beat up by a homeless person, and then he just plays it off and tries to teach.
feel
Did you
like
go
all those-
back? How many more classes?
No,
Was that your last class?
I don't remember when I stopped,
Yeah.
but I did not get far.
These teachers, I
Yeah.
feel like that's what they live for, an opportunity to like show off in front of their students.
But more
and
so
went
when it's like
way wrong for
when it's
him.
like righteous, like if like he was actually being a dickhead and like he
Yeah.
wasn't even being an asshole.
In
Yeah.
his head,
That's-
he was righteous. I think, fucking weirdo, because he was like looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a
He was
weird.
mentally ill.
It's a weird like. I think it's also weird too because it's easy sometimes to forget that everyone doing a job
Mm-hmm.
is just a person. So when I was little, I don't know if you two felt this way when you were kids, but I used to think that there were real adults.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to think like, oh, the
Maybe.
big people know what to do, and if someone has this job, it must mean that they were always meant to have this job. And then as you get older, you're like, oh, anybody can just have any job.
Absolutely.
That's wild. And then you see situations like that where you're like, oh, this is just like a dude in his mid-20s teaching elementary school kids karate.
Yeah.
Like it's just like
Yeah, I used to think my teachers weren't like human beings; they were just teachers.
Yeah,
all the
this is
time.
like all they do.
After we left, they were still teachers at home. Like I don't know.
We're
But,
all
yeah.
born into this nightmare and nobody knows what the hell's going on.
yeah, like
We should all be yelling fire at all times.
yeah, most of the time.
Yeah. Coming in at number 6.
Okay.
What a list.
So number 6, this one is actually super recent, and it goes again to the thing that I was just saying of like sometimes when you think you see especially authority figures in a job like they were always meant to have that job. This is like what they do. This is what they were born for and everything. I had a show in Kalamazoo, and I don't know why it's so difficult to get there and back, but on each way needed a connection. And so from Kalamazoo,
To be fair, Kalamazoo is like literally the name I think of when it needs a connecting flight.
I guess so, but it's
Kalamazoo,
like,
it's Kalamazoo, for the love of God.
but I mean, we live at a hub. So
Yeah.
it's like, in theory, because we're at a hub,
Mhm.
you think you could get direct to almost anywhere.
I got you.
Fair.
And so I'm in Kalamazoo. I have to leave Kalamazoo so early that none of the taxi services are open
Doesn't even
yet.
sound like a real place.
It
Continue.
doesn't,
Yeah,
right?
It's like a
It's
Dr.
like-
Seuss place.
Yeah, I was doing a college there. I had a great time, and then
Mhm.
sure enough,
You're like, shout out to Kalamazoo.
yeah,
Sorry.
Kalamazoo killing the game. It is so early
Mhm.
that I don't know how I'm gonna get a taxi because the Ubers, the two dudes who do Uber haven't woken up yet,
Mhm.
and then the actual taxi services I'm calling, two of them are like, "Oh, we don't start sending out cars till like 6," but my flight's at like about 6, like it's like 5 something,
Mhm.
and so I'm freaking out because I'm not that far from the airport. I'm like a 15-minute drive from the airport, 10 minutes with no traffic, but I'm gonna miss the flight
Mhm.
because now it's like 5, and even though I have pre-check, I'm like, this is
This is impossible.
this is how you miss flights.
Yeah.
And so finally, I've been calling all of them. There's like 6 near my hotel. I'm calling all of them. 4 aren't picking up. 2 are like, we don't send cars out yet. So one of them calls me back and is like, we can actually send a car out now if you want, whatever. I was like, yes, I want, please. So then get the car, get to the airport, actually make it to the flight, everything. And then the connection is Detroit, and it's Detroit to Newark. So in Detroit, it's still very, very early, but I'm like, every once in a while you have to make a decision for yourself where you're like, let me be an adult for myself and like do what I know I should do. A lot of times when I fly, even if I'm flying all day, I don't really eat. Like I don't know I don't even get that motion sickness on the plane. I just like forget to, or like I fall asleep on the flight, then I fall asleep at the connection gate, whatever. And so I was like, let me go ahead and eat something so I'm not just feeling terrible all day. And so I go to this Chili's to go. And it's so early, even in Detroit, when we land, that the Chili's to go is just opening. Like legit just opening. She's opening the little gate thing, and we're walking in. And so I sit down, and I'm eating whatever their version of a Grand Slam is, like whatever their little breakfast thing is.
I didn't even know Chili's had breakfast, but go on.
Yeah, it's like it was good, too. It was like eggs, bacon, all the stuff.
Mhm.
But then, not far from me, so maybe where that green chair is to this table, I see a guy at least dressed like a pilot, housing like 3 plates,
Mhm.
like fully digging in. So in my
I
head,
thought you
I'm
were gonna
like,
say scotches. I was like, oh.
no. I
Just
think that,
imagining like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day at the
yeah,
diner.
yeah, because it's
Mhm.
like he's getting it in so hard that I'm like, this dude is either try to sober up
Mhm.
or is like fighting a personal challenge, you know?
Mhm, mhm.
And so then I see him, and I like take note. I'm like, man, that dude is like putting it away,
Sure.
because my plate was more than enough, and he's got 3, and he's
Is he a
not
big dude?
He wasn't that big of a dude.
Mhm.
Like he was a little chubby, but he wasn't like a man that you think 3 plates.
Gotcha. He was eating his feelings, probably.
Maybe
Who's to say?
something was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to my gate. I'm sitting there waiting for them to let people on. And then as they open the gate door, that guy walks right on. And I was
Uh-oh.
like, that's the pilot.
Uh-huh.
Like even if you're flying standby as a pilot, they don't let you on that early. That's
Yeah.
the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I'm like, that was weird then, because you rarely get to see your pilot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
only on the way out. right?
Yeah, only on the way out, they're standing there like, that was me. That's all that you usually get
So
from
true.
them.
Sure.
And so I was like, okay, that was a little odd. Then we all get on and everything's fine. We take off, and about 20, maybe 30 minutes after we take off, this man comes to the back of the plane and uses the coach bathroom.
What?
Oh
Right? So
my goodness.
we're not even talking about, like, he knew what he was about to do in that bathroom, and he
Yeah.
knew he had to do it to the pores.
Yeah.
He couldn't do it to
No.
first class.
Mhm.
And then also the thing that was cracking me up about it is that, you know how the flight attendants will also have their hands on the overhead bins to balance themselves? It's like what you're supposed to do. And
Yeah.
it's just other people don't do it, so we like bounce on people. Oh, I'm so sorry, whatever.
Mhm.
He was doing it, and he looked bad. Like he was walking. He was like, ugh. And so he goes to the bathroom, closes the door, And I built up this like silent relationship with the person across the aisle from me because it's still early enough that some passengers went right to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people didn't see this. So then I look at the person across from me, is that the pilot? And they were like, I think so.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, in the front.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh. Because this is the other thing too. I understand, that flights have a co-pilot.
Sure.
All I'm saying is that maybe I was too much in my phone. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I did not hear a co-pilot announced.
Mm-hmm.
So in my head, that's the pilot. That's the only pilot.
It's got it on cruise control while he's dropping a deuce in the coach bathroom.
That's scary. Such a scary thought.
Did not. I also did not
I'm,
see
like,
another
sweating.
pilot-looking person get on.
Uh-huh.
So remember when I said I saw him get on? Like, that's my pilot.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see anybody else with
He
the
was
little stripes
alone. He
on the
wasn't
white
with his
shirt.
buddy at the diner.
Yeah.
He
And
was-
so then in my head I'm like, that okay? So we just
Mm-hmm.
flying.
Yeah.
We just suspended in the air.
Man, this started
And
in
then-
Kalamazoo.
Yeah.
Man, we've been everywhere.
And then my man comes out not looking better.
Uh-huh.
Not looking a little disheveled.
Yeah.
And then goes back to the front. And I'm like, all right, well, at least he's up at the front again. At least he's flying the plane.
Sure.
And to be, in all fairness, there wasn't like a huge amount of turbulence or something while he was in there. That
Mhm.
would have been hilarious.
He
though.
picked a good time.
Yeah. But then I take a quick little nap. When I wake up, he's coming back.
Oh my God.
And
For seconds.
I was like, there's no way. There's
Yeah.
no. And like, I always thought they had their own bathroom. I know that doesn't make a ton of sense
I
because the
was
cockpit
thinking that
is
in
so
my
small.
head. Yeah, I was thinking that in my head.
Yeah, I'm sure that they just usually use the first class one, but he knew. He knew whatever he was about to do, he couldn't do in front of the champagne people.
Yeah, this is such a multifaceted story of crazy shit
Yeah.
that like some people might not think it's crazy, but yeah, just the whole juxtaposition of everything makes it absolutely insane.
I didn't even know that they could do that.
I've never seen a pilot go back to coach for anything, let alone to take a shit.
I feel like
Yeah.
everything that happens up suspended in the air feels super intense too, because
Yeah.
it literally is life or death. So
Yeah.
like now that you're safely home, you could talk about the story, but like in that moment, you were
Yeah.
probably bugging.
Because
Yeah.
of this, especially the second time he was coming back, I remember in my head thinking like, "Oh no, he gonna have to boo-boo on himself
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I can't crash.
Yeah.
I'm so close to
we
getting
must
home."
be there already. Like
Yeah.
we're getting close.
Yeah, it was insane. I was like, and I remember just thinking like, especially that silent relationship with the person across from me. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they were like,
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
man, yeah, that's
a great
a
story.
different kind of terror threat.
yeah.
That was number 6.
Number 6. Okay.
That was
so
number 6, right?
That was indeed number 6.
Cool.
So
Coming in at number 5.
number 5, I used to live in Chicago, and when I lived in Chicago, I had to do a lot of shows in the theater district.
Mhm.
Theater district is like Boys Town, Belmont area, like the Belmont stop on the red, purple, brown line. And, you know, you get off there and you do your shows at Laugh Factory or, you know, Stage 773, all those places. Sometimes I would, you know, decompress after a show. I'd go get a slice of pizza, or I'd like go see a show or something. Like, you know, there IO Improv Olympic used to be near the Addison area, which was it used to be on the Addison area near Wrigley, like, is it Wrigley Park? It's in Wrigleyville, but I can't remember. It sounds so dumb to not be able to remember what Wrigley is
Wrigley
called.
Field?
Yeah, Wrigley Field. Yeah.
Mhm.
So in Wrigleyville, there's just a string of bars that are the bars that people go to before and after the games.
Mhm.
When you said
And-
Wrigleyville, I'm like, you're saying it wrong. That's a real thing.
Yeah, it is Wrigley
Ville?
Field, but Wrigleyville is like the name of the overall area. Like the residential part of it is considered like Wrigleyville.
I love it.
And so it's very weird. I realize how I sound as I'm talking.
Yeah, I'm like, isn't we making up a made-up world?
No. Wrigley Field is, Wrigleyville is the
I believe
residential
I've only
area.
been to Chicago and rap songs. So.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you're gonna end up making me looking it up after I get done with this podcast, see if I've just completely butchered every aspect of naming the area.
Mhm.
But basically, when I was in that area, whether I was getting pizza or seeing a show at IO, there would always be a fight at one of the bars, and it just was a common thing, to the point where you barely notice. You only really notice the ones where a crowd goes, ooh, like those are the ones where you look, and even when you look, the thing already happened.
Mm-hmm.
So there was one, though, that I got to see that was, I believe it was at the Hidden Shamrock. It was either at the Hidden Shamrock or the bar across from it. It doesn't really matter because most of the people listening to the story, it doesn't mean anything. But all you need to know is basically I'm walking out of IO so I can see these other bars as I'm walking down the street. And a fight breaks out between a very tall man and a very, very tiny man, to the point where it just feels bad. It's like,
it's a hidden camera show almost.
yeah, it's like, are we all gonna let this happen? Because
Yeah.
it's a big dude, and not necessarily. He wasn't thick. He was lanky, but still, he was like at least 6 foot.
Yeah.
And the other guy couldn't have been more than like 5'2". So we're already talking like a whole foot on a person. And then never mind the reach advantage, all the things. If you watch any fighting, you know this is a mismatch, right? And they're getting into it, yelling at each other, everything. Their friends are clearly around, kind of hyping them up. Like, so I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad. And I did stop to watch because I was already across the street. So I wasn't like close enough to break it up. And a part of me was curious what would happen. The big guy immediately throws like a right, and connects and like really like cracks his little dude like hard, and it's kind of sad. It's like,
Poor
oh
little
geez,
dude.
yeah. Then the
Lucky
little
Charms came out of him.
yeah, little bit of
Lucky
sugar
Charm
blood,
stars,
yeah. Then the little guy screaming runs up to the big dude, bear hugs him, and then climbs on him and climbs his back. And it's just, and you can tell as the big dude is getting climbed, he's screaming because he's like, oh.
Yeah, you don't expect it.
It feels so unnatural to have
no,
a human crawling on you.
no one's ever used his pocket as like a foothold, you know? So
Rock,
the dude's
rock
like,
climbing his body.
And so he climbs up. So he hugged him immediately, got the body lock, then whipped around behind
my
him.
God.
And so as he's whipping around behind him, the dude's like, like trying to elbow him and stuff, but he's just missing because the guy's so little. Then he grabs his shirt and starts like climbing him and everything.
Makes
and
it to the head.
People must be going wild.
People are losing it. And then makes it to the head and then puts him in like an actual choke, like a rear naked choke. But he's so little that he can't wrap his legs around the body to like complete the choke.
Yeah.
So now he's just hanging off of him, and they're both screaming.
It's like he's a cape.
Yeah, because then the little guy's like, ah! And the big guy's like, oh! And they're both just screaming so much. And then it's like a pretty complete choke. Like he's got like he's not just a lot.
Maybe not the first time he's done this.
Yeah, this dude he climbed him so fast. I think he's
He
climbed
had
somebody
the form,
before.
but I can't imagine he had the strength.
No.
Yeah.
So then a lot of people make the mistake if they're trying to like choke a person or they see a choke from a movie, putting the neck like inside the elbow. That's not actually going to choke anyone. What chokes a person is like your forearm across their neck, which is what the little guy's doing. So the little guy's got like a good choke going, but he just can't get his legs around the dude's body because he's too little. And so then the big guy, the big guy does spin a couple times to try to get him off.
Wow.
And his little legs are like
Flying.
out, like flying out, but he's still got the choke.
What a
And
scene.
so
So everybody's dizzy at this point.
yeah,
you know?
and I feel bad. Okay, I'm trying to think of the best
Listen,
way
they're
to
both
describe
grown
this.
men fighting.
They're
Men fighting.
when he ran up to him to like get the body locked,
To parkour him.
it looked almost identical. You know when soldiers come home and their kids run up to hug them? It looked exactly like
Yeah.
It was- and he gets it, climbs him, is choking him, and then as the dude's really starting to like like go out, the people decide to break it up, and he's even trying to punch behind him, like to hit the little guy, but the guy is so little he just hides behind his head while holding the choke. So all this happens in like
Yeah, what is
30
feet,
seconds.
like dangling at this
His feet
point?
are dangling because he can't get grip. He can't like
How
get
far
like
from the
good-
ground were his feet? Give us a visual. Like at least 2
Like,
feet?
At least, let me see. If the guy was 6'1" and he was like at his head level,
Yeah, man.
then it's at least a foot, but then he's got his knees up trying to wrap around. So yeah, he was like, he had to be like 3 feet in the air because he's got his
Insane.
legs up, you know? So anyway, he finally is like, the big guy's about to go out. And so his friends run up and try to break him apart. So do the little guy's friends. But the way that
Are the little guy's friends also little?
No, little
Okay.
guy's friends are regular size, which is why it's so messed up they let this happen.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
also probably knew he'd climb him.
Mm-hmm.
They were probably like, "No, let Marvin go. This,
Do
this
his
is what,
thing.
yeah,
He-
this is what Marvin
has
does."
his
Yeah,
move.
for sure.
He's
Yeah.
gonna
They've
bust
seen it
it
before.
out.
So then his friends grab the little guy's friends, grab both his legs. Grab both his legs and a little bit of his shirt. And then the big guy's friends just grab his arms, which is not the way to like, no one's fighting the hands.
No.
But the hands are the choke.
It's almost like a tug of war at this point.
They're kind of helping him choke him now because now they're pulling his legs, so they're pulling him back, but he's still got the choke. And then the big guy is being pulled forward, so he's being pulled into the choke. So now he's really about to go out.
Sure.
And they're both still screaming, except the big guy is screaming less now because he's really losing air. He's
can't
like,
breathe.
but the little guy's like, ah! And then finally, when they rip them off of each other, the little guy almost hits the ground, but his friends catch him, and they. It's kind of sad. They do carry him away, so his feet never got to touch the ground again.
Oh.
But imagine you were like beat somebody's ass and then you get carried like a
Yeah.
kid because they carried him like a kid.
They
They didn't carry
scoop
him like
him? How they
yeah.
like he
So
won a championship.
the two of them that had their like hands on the legs and the shirt catch him before he hits the ground, but then sort of pull him up. So he's kind of just in both of their arms,
Oh my
being
goodness.
like walked away.
Carry me away.
And then the other guy's friends just catch him and he's like getting his air back and getting his wherewithal back.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Man, that must have been a tough night to sleep for that tall guy.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Imagine
it
somebody
serves him
climbs
right
you.
though for like even trying to fight someone that you're a foot bigger than, you know.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
little guy it was a tough little man. I
Yeah.
like this
And
guy.
that little guy's name is Joe Pesci. No, man, that's a crazy one. I don't know how there could be a crazier story than that.
Let me
But that was
see.
number 5. So this is how we got to do it now, because it's my bad. We just for time.
Yeah.
Give me 4, 3, and 2, like rapidly, and let's talk about one of them because I want to get it in within an hour.
Okay, so the fourth one is the Smart Wig, which was it was a Sony patented invention that my friend and I found and we talked about on our podcast. But it's insane. Then my 3 is my buddy's grandma started eating edibles. And then number 2 is a pyramid scheme that I saw pitched at a funeral. And then number 1 is the time.
Wait, we're gonna do number 1 no matter what.
Oh,
I want to
okay.
build suspense.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking the grandma on the edibles or the funeral pitch, but that's a little dark. I've seen that happen before.
Yeah.
Let's go with
what
grandma
did
on
grandma do?
edibles.
Tell us about what grandma
Let's
did.
go with
Okay.
number 3, grandma on edibles.
So, so in Chicago, there was a friend of mine who was like dabbling in edibles, both in like taking them and selling them. And there was one day where his grandma got a hold of his stash, and without fully realizing, and then ate some, but like is now a fiend. Like now that she knows she likes
Took them
edibles,
accidentally, but then she started to like them. a
yeah,
lot.
but now she loves them,
Mhm.
and so now it's like regimented.
Mhm.
But then the things she'll be saying on edibles, they're not. It's not like she's hallucinating. They're just honest things that she thinks.
Sure.
But she's just so loose and free at herself on edibles. So she was telling, them about. She was like, oh, this postman, he got some good legs.
So specific.
he got some good legs. I've been trying to get him to come inside and spend a little time with me. And I want to lay out a couple traps for him. That's what I want to do. And then there was one time where she was very, very high, and she went out because I guess she had been ordering cheap things just so he'd have to deliver them.
Stop it right
and
now.
so then she was like, yeah, sometimes I just mail myself an empty box.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. My grandma on edibles mailing herself a box with nothing in it?
With nothing in it, but just knowing he's going to like come by like 2 or 3.
It's genius. She's genius. She
then,
thought of it. She thought of the master plan. I love it.
And basically, the craziest thing, this might be the craziest thing that she did, but basically there was one time where he came and she was like, I love edibles. Maybe he loves edibles too. And maybe we'd have a good time together if, I gave him some edibles. We could do something nasty,
Sounds
good. And so then he came to the door with her package that she had mailed herself. And she just, very high, just dropped a cookie on the ground and stared at him. And I'm sure in her mind, she was offering him an edible, like, come inside, let's chill, whatever. But what she actually did was just like...
Throw a cookie on the...
Was it wrapped in anything?
No, it was just a cookie from her hand that she threw on the ground. That was an edible. And then, that's basically it.
Man, is she still alive?
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Man, edibles
National treasure.
Absolutely, man. Man, edibles, it's amazing how strong they can be. And, like... I would love.
And when you get older, you're not embarrassed. You've lived your whole life. You've seen it all. So when you're on edibles, sometimes you're like timid to like say things out loud because you're like, what the fuck am I even thinking about right now? Like, what are these thoughts? She's saying it all out loud.
Yeah. I remember. So basically, when he realized that she had taken some by accident, she was just all she was doing was going, ooh, ooh. George Clooney. Oh, George Clooney now. It just was like going on and on about how good looking he was.
It's also just great that edibles makes this old woman horny.
Yeah.
It's an aphrodisiac. Look at this.
Yeah. Don't give her any muscles. Okay, this has been a phenomenal list. Thank you so much.
So much fun. My cheeks hurt. This is so good.
The two we didn't get to, but we know what they are. But so coming in at number 1.
Number 1.
This is the craziest thing Josh Johnson's ever seen in his life.
There was one time that I went to a party with some friends, and I lost track of them because the house was very disheveled but very big. It was like the Fight Club house almost. Like when you watch the movie Fight Club, it was as big as that house, and it looked as crap as that house. It was terrible condition.
Decrepit.
There weren't a lot of doors. There were just sheets hanging where there should have been doors.
Oy.
Terrifying.
And a lot of people were like passed out on mattresses and stuff because everyone was taking
you,
like
Josh?
Is this a flop house?
It seems like it was a flop house.
Okay.
I was in Louisiana for this, and lost track of my friends almost immediately and sat on the couch and was like kind of freaking out because I didn't realize we were going to a bad place. No, none of us did.
How long ago was this?
This was in college.
Okay, yeah.
And so, we just got invited to this house, and then I am excited to go to like a college party, and I'm a freshman, and my only friends so far were the people that are in the car. So I don't even have anyone I can call to like come get. I don't know where I am. I like just moved to Shreveport a little while ago, and then sure enough, I'm sitting on the couch. I'm like kind of freaking out a little bit because I'm like, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. This is like I saw 2 people passed out on mattresses on the floor looking for my friends. So then I was like, oh, we're in a bad place. This is not a good place to be. And then as I was sitting on the couch, there was a couch across from me, and a guy sat down and smoked crack in front of me, and I'll tell you right now, I cried in his face, like that. That was the thing that broke me because it was like I was already scared to be there.
Sure.
I'm like, there's like passed out people who I'm sure are passed out from drugs that they wanted to take. I hope like that feels crazy.
Yeah, this is a crack house.
Yeah, there's no doors, and then the dude just confirms every fear because he sits down and takes like one of the longest rips I've ever seen someone take of anything.
You don't want to waste the crack.
The rock had to be gone.
Now, do you remember the smell?
I just remember a harsh smell. I don't really remember, like, I couldn't tell you exactly the...
If you smelled it again, would you remember?
Maybe.
Okay.
But it's also been, long
I
time.
want to go back to the tears. Was it like instant? Like, because I've been there where your body just like cries.
Yeah, because I don't even think I didn't even cry with my face.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was looking at him. He was looking at me. And then he just started ripping, and then just 3 tears fell out of my eyes. So I wasn't like screaming, bawling, but I was just like, "Oh no!"
Hey, you're killing this guy's high too.
Yeah. But I didn't ask him to look me in the eyes. Like that wasn't anything I wanted.
No, yeah, absolutely.
And he didn't need to. Honestly, I was so in my own head. If he had sat next to me and smoked the crack, I probably wouldn't have even noticed.
Yeah, it was just.
I would have been like, "Man, it stinks in here." Like that would have been my only. It's the fact that he was like,
absolutely.
And he already had like wired eyes when he sat down.
Yeah, because when you're like connected with somebody, it was almost like he was like forcing you to smoke crack with him.
Yeah, sorry.
Spiritually.
Yeah, to a degree.
Uh-huh.
Can
you get because there's secondhand smoke. Like I don't know if there might be like secondhand crack smoke.
Maybe, but I don't know. I feel like you would have to blow it right into someone's mouth.
Yeah.
Because
Josh, it sounds like you smoke crack.
No, I did. I didn't even get a contact high. It was just sad and fear.
Sure.
Unless that's what crack gives.
Terrifying.
If smoking crack makes you extra sad and fearful, then maybe I did get a contact high.
Hey,
but other than that, I think I was pretty safe. He also held it. He also held it in. I don't even know if you're supposed to do that. I know you're supposed to do it with weed. Like you're supposed to like take it. But I
would think anything you inhale, I guess, the more you inhale it, the
really?
That was his last rock. He needed to keep it going.
Yeah. But so he took that rip and was looking me in the eyes. I started crying. And then I can't remember which one of us left first.
Did you find your friends?
Eventually. But geez. And then when I found one of my friends.
Did he even react? I'm sorry. I just have to go back to that. Because I guess he's too busy being high on crack at that point.
Yeah, he smiled at me. And I don't know if it was a reassuring smile
I think he was trying to make you feel better.
Hey, it's all good. Or if it was a smile of like, I used to be like you. Like that could have been the smile. But yeah, I remember
my freshman year too.
Yeah.
I'm a senior.
Yeah, now I'm a 28-year-old sophomore.
Uh-huh.
But basically,
exactly.
when I finally found my friends, one of them had taken a hit of this guy's weed who owns the house, who must get his weed from Mars or something, because she took a hit in front, like off of a one-hitter, took a hit in front of us, and immediately threw up. And I was like, guys, there's no way that's crack too.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Can we go? Can we leave the party?
This is just bad.
I always wondered that, if you could smoke weed out of a crack pipe. Like, even that, too. Even if it was weed, they're probably using that to smoke crack, too. Or it's, laced with crack. Anyway,
my
friend
mom
didn't
thinks
just smoke weed.
anything that
There's
you
no
smoke
way.
is crack.
No.
Any bowl of any type. She's like, that's crack. That's crack.
Yeah.
I've never smoked anything. I've never even drank before, but that was like, I as naive as I am, I was like, for you to throw up immediately, that can't be just weed.
No.
That was like, and she was like, oh, it was just probably a really strong hit. And then even the guy that gave her to her was like, yeah, it was probably a strong hit. And then me and my friends were like, no, like let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, that's not how weed works.
Shit. Well, from Detroit to Kalamazoo to crack and Shreveport, what a list. Josh, thank you so much for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yes,
great episode. Great
so
list.
Much fun.
Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Josh Johnson Comedy, Facebook at Josh J Comedy if you still use it, Twitter at Josh Johnson, YouTube at Josh Johnson Comedy, where I post clips of my podcast, The Josh Johnson Show, that I do with my other stand-up friend, Logan Nielsen, and we do it every week. It always drops on Thursdays.
Nice.
Thanks again for coming, man. Adele, anything?
Yeah, visit me at the stand. We're building more shows on the calendar, and listen to new episodes every Tuesday. Apple, YouTube, and Spotify.
Yep. Top 9 Pod on Instagram and Twitter. TomCassidy.com. This has been another episode of Top 9 Podcast. Thank you.
Oh,
you want to add something?
One last thing?
Sure, of course.
I actually have a show at the stand. It's a monthly show on Wednesdays.
Sure does.
It's the second Wednesday of every month. It's called Flex Comedy, and you can get your tickets at thestandnyc.com.
And they sell out.
Yeah.
Check that shit out.
They
Josh
sure
is a
do.
hilarious
So get your tickets ahead of time, bi-weekly.
stand-up
Yeah.
comedian. But that's been another episode. Thanks, guys. See you next week. Peace.
Bye. Thanks.